Hey guys, I'm Matthew Tapp from Barrows and Borderlands, and we've got a cool Game of Games video today. We'll be talking compatibility and other systems. But before we get into that, I was going to quickly bring up, if y'all want to join the Discord, this is where we're currently playing our Game of Games. Y'all just need to go to discord.gg/Barrows and Borderlands, all one word. And that'll be in the description below. And don't forget to, once you hop in, grab one of the beginner character sheets and join a game. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up some folks to help me talk about this today. And two guys from the campaign and also two guys that make content covering tabletop role-playing games. So we've got Hunter and Fox. So Hunter, if you want to introduce yourself, tell them who you are, where they can find you.
I am Hunter, aka the Ultra Mega TTRPGer, where I talk about TTRPGs, sometimes the culture war, which involves some political stuff sometimes every now and then, and sometimes you see it all clash in between, but I still love my games as much as I love my country, and Barrows and Borderlands has become one of my top favorite ones so far. So I'm really, so I've been loving what's been going on with the Discord. I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Nice, man. I'm excited as well. And then we've got Fox Off RPG.
How you doing, guys? Yep, my name is Kieran. As you said, I'm Fox Off RPG. I'm on the Discord. I play games all the time with all these guys here, including Hunter and obviously Matt. I cover stuff on my channel, reviews, look at unboxing stuff, and doing more and more stuff for Barrows and Borderlands in terms of like how we run our campaign and some interesting stuff today, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got a good conversation today. I was gonna quickly say, what do we mean when we're talking about compatibility? I know a lot of my players come from the 5th edition and the new school world of games. And so for them, whenever I tell them like, oh, this game's compatible with a bunch of other stuff, that it's just, why does that matter? And I think that's one of the biggest features of old school and classic style games is the modularity and the availability to mix and mash systems together. But if you're new to this sort of mixing of games or whatever, just think about it like this. If you're playing a video game and you want to add in like DLC content or modded content or something, and it'd be like if you were able to add in stuff from Fallout to your Skyrim game. But so, we do that a lot on the server, and we do that a lot in our campaign. And I thought that what we would do is just talk a little bit about what it means for OSR games to be compatible. Then we'd pop into tell you guys about some of the games that we actually work into our home campaign and give a few examples of those. And this also includes adventure modules from other games and being able to run them in a different system. And then finally, we'd talk about some expanded ideas of things that we could use. Maybe ones that we haven't used yet, but we have ideas for, etc. We'll even be talking about how to still use some of your 5e content if you're wanting to mix game systems, or if you want to mix in Barrows and Borderlands to your 5e campaign. But without further ado, Hunter, what do you think when you think of compatible systems?
So my first thought when I think of systems being compatible, it's the idea that you could take something like, say, you could take the setting or some monster stats or even the character class from Barrows and Borderlands and implement that into another game that uses a very similar system, or you're able to somehow find a way to easily convert or change it to where it would fit like a completely different system of its own. Like what I'm doing right now is, for my next solo playthrough I'm going to do, I am converting a lot of stuff from Barrows and Borderlands to a game called the Red Dice system for my futuristic zombie apocalypse game that I'm planning on doing next year. And so that's something I just started doing. And for me doing that, it was just as simple as looking through the existing like race options in RDS, which is short for Red Dice system, so I'll refer to as RDS going forward, and seeing like which of these race options is kind of compatible for what the races in Barrows Borderlands looks like. So like, for example, there's a race in RDS called the Giant Blood that basically gives it more advantage to stuff and all that, and I'm like, a lot of that seems very fitting for like a Green Skull character, because Green Skulls, depending on how you look at them, they can very much take a hit, and they're on the plus side, they're immune to radiation, which in a game like Barrows and Borderlands is amazing. So
It is. They're. I think they're still the only race that is immune to radiation. But, well, same question for Fox. What kind of things come to your mind when you are looking for compatibility in a system?
Yeah, when it comes to compatibility, for me it's pretty straightforward. I've played a lot of games. I kind of have an idea of how things will work with what I'm trying to do. So again, there's different kinds of compatibility in my opinion. So example, I am using Barrows and Borderlands to play Gods of the North, and that is the most simple and straightforward. I don't need to change anything. I use the monster stats that are in the book itself in the Gods of the North. It works pretty much exactly the same. I just deal with the XP, and I use all the abilities, the equipment, and all that stuff from Barrows and Borderlands. If I want to like have my own little section in the game, create a dungeon or whatever, grand, I just throw that in. Maybe add some radiation, some other traps and stuff we might have in Barrows and Borderlands, and there you go. That's the most simple and straightforward way. The other way would be, example we've talked about before a little bit, is like having something like Shadowdark. It might be a little more daunting for people who have never done it before, but it's very straightforward. It's just going to look at what's plus. If you have a +1 in strength, that could be a 12 to 14 example for in Barrows and Borderlands or OSE sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's just trying to get your adventures, your games, or a random one-page dungeon to make it work with minimum changes on your own side. It can be done on the fly, or set up an hour or so beforehand.
That makes sense, and that's also like when I'm looking for compatible systems. Obviously Barrows and Borderlands is the creation of my home rules, so it's this thing that I usually jump to play. But we play tons of systems on the server. We also, because of the nature of our setting, which is multiversal, we are going to other universes, other timelines all the time. So we need a way to convert characters to other systems, and we also need a way to work in systems alongside our characters. Usually my favorite systems are the ones that are plug and play with that classic style, because I can look at you if let's say you and Hunter are taking your character to trying to think of another world, let's say Thurn, which is another one of my settings. If you guys were going there, very minimal changes need to be made, meaning you're able to keep your character sheet. That's one thing I like, but that doesn't mean I do that all the time. We have an entire branch of games that we play that are just straight up other game systems entirely, and you make completely different characters for it. But we all consider that to be the same campaign. I thought I would go through and maybe talk a little bit about how other referees on the server implement different game systems. So we have, I'll pull that back up as well. We have on the server a series of locations, and these locations can be accessed in the game. These are normally just in world, especially if they follow like these hex numbers, and you will see certain ones have more information than others. Like I think Cheetah Morte has the most at the moment. That's currently been our recent favored location is Cheetah Morte. But
it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll see other ones down here that have these weird little emojis next to them. Now, these are other worlds. I know we were going to change something about the Scrim one, but these other worlds are ones that characters can leave the main setting and travel to. And then I have denotions based on, well, are we using the same system? Which is going to be like with Thurn, you travel there, you get a direct, you got the little arrow there. You just go there with your character sheet. You don't have to change anything. And then we've got some that are indirect, which are usually denoted by the little arrows. That means, yeah, you're going there and you can use the same character, but some things might change a little bit. You might have some different stats, or you might not use others. And then we've got the little ghost ones and the mind ones. Those are like isekais. So if it has a mind and a ghost, it means your character is going to remember the other world. If it just has a ghost, it means he won't remember it. This is basically making a new character, but at the end of the session, you're going to get XP for your main character once you come back. But we use other systems a lot of these. Look, we even got in Shifty Louts, we've got a whole nother rule system that Jazer here has thrown together of what we use when we go to this world. And we've got Hyperborea on here. Of course, when we travel there, we'll use the Hyperborea system more than likely. But other than just what's on the server and what places you can go to, we also talk about some of the third-party systems that we use. But I'm going to pull up a few resources that make it easier to make systems compatible. And we will use Barrows and Borderlands as a good example for this. So an obvious first one, and it's free or pay what you want. Recommend dropping a couple bucks because this thing is incredible. The OSR Rosetta Stone. This right here is a simple, like, 2-page document that just lines up different saving throw values, armor classes, etc., and percentages based on dice rolls for multiple different old school systems. So whether or not you're doing like basic role playing, like Chaosium type stuff, or if you're going and doing 2E, 1E, OD&D, BX, which also includes Old School Essentials, DCC, they give you what your roles will be between those systems. So a lot of times there will be people that want to run a class or something, and I'll just let them run it as is, and I'll use this to determine, what dice roll they need to make it adequate for the other players. So
that's cool. That is an essential for everybody, I think.
Yeah, this one, that's why I wanted to bring it up first, because it's pretty much free. Like I said, I recommend dropping him a couple bucks because that's always good to do. Hack and Slash Publishing, they also did some of the other fine products like Downtime and Demis. I can never say that word. So a couple of the other good products.
I have that
campaign.
That book you're hovering over. I actually own that one because we were using that for stuff in an OSE game I was a part of at one point. So it is a very good book. I actually own the physical version of it.
And he's got a bunch of things on sale right now. So when this video comes out, hopefully that sale's still going on. But, y'all can go pick up that stuff. The other thing I was going to bring up is on my Barrows and Borderlands website, I actually list a couple different compatibility guides. I need to change the heading size to match the others, but we've got one for Shadowdark right here, and then one for 5e right here. And those, 5e, we'll get to that in a minute, but with Shadowdark is fairly simple. I allow people in my campaign to play classes and races from Shadowdark and just play them in our Barrows and Borderlands campaign. Yes, when they level up, it's going to look a little different. Maybe they have a little different level scaling or some other options. Like if you're playing a fighter in Shadowdark, it's going to be a little different from a fighter or fighting man in Barrows and Borderlands. I don't really mind it being different. I just see it as a different class. You're rolling things when you're leveling up. It can be fun. Sometimes we refer to them as like a shadow fighter if they're the ones from Shadowdark.
It's like a different type of fighting style and how you learn and do things.
Exactly.
It's like the difference between a boxer and a kickboxer, a Muay Thai fighter, an MMA fighter.
Exactly. And when it comes to the differences between Shadowdark and Barrows and Borderlands, that one's like one of the easiest ones to make compatible.
I think the numbers throw people off a little bit when it comes to like creature stats or whatever, but it's super simple.
It really is. I mean, like if you're doing saving throws, for example, in Shadowdark, they do their saving throws based on beating a difficulty with an ability score modifier. So like rolling a d20, adding a number, and beating it. You could continue just using, if you're a Shadowdark class, then you use those saving throw methods if you want. Or if you wanted to pull in more from like Barrows and Borderlands or Old School Essentials, you can use that saving throw system and just say, well, it says Fighting Man gets this in Barrows and Borderlands, so that means Fighting Man gets that in Shadowdark.
I mean, I was just about to say, like, if it was like, if I was bringing in monsters from the Shadowdark book to use in Barrows and Borderlands, and it says like this effect you have to like it make like this such of a like a DC something strength check or save, I would just look at that and be like, okay, which save would this actually be? So if it's like a poison, you're making basically like your death poison save, and you got to try to beat, and you just do the normal saving throw you would for Barrows of Borderlands to see if you can beat that effect or not.
Exactly. It just lines up so well. I like a lot of Shadowdark content out there. Chubby Funster has a lot of great content and other settings and guides and how to use that. And I don't want to not use it because it's not the exact same system, you know. I'll still buy his products and work it into our campaign. And that's the benefit I see from compatibility guides and stuff like that, or just playing the game with a certain mindset of let anything go, because then you can have these cool adventure modules that these awesome writers are making, and you don't have to worry about not being able to play it. So
it's almost like thinking about things as everything can be system neutral.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to the core of role-playing games, or at least most of them, the entire concept of the tabletop role-playing game is you have a player and a referee of some sort. Sometimes that's the same person if you're doing solo play, but you've got someone manning a character. They're in charge of a character, and then you have someone who is a neutral arbiter of a rule system. But at the end of the day, that character is going to attempt an action, and it is up to the referee or the system to tell you what is the percentage chance that they will complete that action. Whether or not you're rolling a d6, a d20, all of its percentages. You know, d20 is five percentage scales at a time. So rolling a 19 or higher is the same as rolling a 90% or higher. It's the exact same percentage chance. So that once you look at it from that perspective, then everything else is just a matter of finding the right percentage to move it over. Some things are easier than others. That brings me, or go ahead.
No, well, it may. What I may talk about may tie into your next point, so I'll let you go ahead first and see if it ties in or not. So we'll.
I don't know if it will, because I'm about to bring up 5th edition. So.
Oh well, I was going to. Well, you were talking about transferring stuff over, and I was going to mention the new setting I'm introducing to our campaign, which is the Land of Scrim, which is they're easily able to take it by boat, and I think I'm gonna like rule it out. It takes them a week by boat to get to that land. And Scrim is basically it's basically Skyrim, but this version was made by Bob the World Builder, and it's DCC RPG compatible. So right. And the cool thing, and when I was looking through the DCC RPG because I got the PDF of it, it's still got that old school feeling. It's just a very unique system. But the thing is, the monster stats alone, I could easily just use in Barrows of Borderlands. Like I don't have to make the characters change anything about their sheets. It's just playtesting. It's now going to be me testing the monsters to see like are they too strong against these guys? Do I need to weaken them? Do I need to increase them? So I'm going to be testing that when I start running the Scrim setting to see how it goes. And it's also a land that is not been touched by the science as much as the Borderlands has. So it'll be interesting to see how the characters interact with that setting, with there being less science and less guns.
That's pretty cool. I definitely think that'll be fun. And there are also some other, I think there are plenty of compatibility guides out there too for stuff like DCC to OSR or like OSE games, or so those could be used as well to just be like, yep, okay, so that's that in this game and that in this game, and let it all mix at the table. What I was going to bring up next, actually, before I talk about 5e, I will also bring up some of the other awesome creators and rule systems that we do use. So obviously I've got to start with Emperor's Choice Games and Miniatures with Arduin. So those of y'all know, we just finished a Kickstarter where we had the Portal to Adventure that had a mixed system between Barrows and Borderlands, Arduin, and Lost Dungeons of Tonisborg. And there's a compatibility guide in the Radioactive Boogaloo supplement that y'all can download for free if y'all go to products at barrowsandborderlands.com. You just scroll down till you see Radioactive Boogaloo, free download. The print is not free, and the print is not available quite yet unless you got it in the Kickstarter, but you can get the PDF. So that right there tells you how to mix content from Arduin, which is another weird science fantasy role-playing game. And it was originally made as almost a DLC or an add-on to original D&D. So it fits perfect with B&B. But another good option. Well, actually, before I move on from Arduin, y'all just made some characters with the combined system, and y'all have gotten a chance to kind of see how those would feel if you were running a game where side by side a B&B character, an OD&D character, and a Arduin character, and then a mixed character would work at the same table at the same time.
Was that the one I lost 2 of my characters in? Was that same game?
It was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, because I brought in all B&B characters. I lost my fairy magic user, my human chronomancer, my dwarf pathcaster miraculously survived by sheer luck, I think. That's all I can chalk that down to.
In my defense, you guys went inside Caliban, which is by far the hardest Arduin dungeon ever written. And those were level 1, 2, or 3 characters.
Yeah, but I do look forward... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying he's a demon.
Yeah, and then you were talking about how you could literally make a dragon as a character thanks to the Arduin setting.
You could do that. Granted, in our home campaign, you won't be seeing dragon player characters at all, unless they're doing patron or domain play with them. We did run a test where somebody at the table was playing a star demon. Yeah, like Brian said, that was his last time dungeon crawling with his star demon.
Yeah, that
was definitely interesting. Yes,
that was related to the Starfall thing, and you decided, yeah.
Yeah, well, when we decided to run Caliban, it was definitely sort of a pickup game. We're like, let's just randomly run a very hard dungeon. And then Brian was like, can I bring in this thing? And I'm like, sure. And then I didn't know what it was exactly.
Well, now that we're reading that things are coming from the Starfall, I'm now wondering that the slime star power mage, which we kind of flavor as the star shard mage, maybe a piece of that Starfell was what got into my slime that gave him the powers. Now is what I'm thinking.
Cool. Yeah,
that's how he became the Star Shard Mage.
But when we're talking about them running at the table, I mean, okay, Fox, have you noticed any issues with a B&B character and an Arduin character?
When we were playing that game, I had the basic character, like you give for brand new people who don't know anything about the game. I just made a simple cleric with that, and that was it. You had people using a mix of Arduin stuff and B&B stuff. People just use B&B stuff, and no one could tell the difference because it's all more or less in line, and it works pretty easily. Again, someone could come in with an OSE character, a AD&D character. It's gonna work with minimum changes.
And we were running an Arduin adventure.
Yeah. You're evil for that, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is what I love, especially about Zero Edition games, or as another name that I usually call by White Box Edition games, which is kind of what another name OE is called, is how easily compatible it is with almost any other OSR game, and just how easy it is to kind of convert something from White Box or Zero E to another game as well. That's one of the things I really grew to appreciate. Like my very first game I ever refed on the server was the AD&D module of Tomb of Horrors, and I didn't have to change anything about that. The only thing I had to do was look for some of the THACO numbers, because for some reason Gary Gygax didn't put the THACO for the monsters in the book.
Well,
but we got a table for that.
The reason that's not in there is because they didn't start using that term in the publications until 2nd edition, but they were still doing so. Until 2nd edition, they were still just going off of the combat matrices. A lot of people, though, the little chart at the bottom of your character sheet, they would just look at that. But a lot of people were already doing THACO calculations, because it's the same thing. It's just a way of doing it to where you don't have to fill out that chart every single time. But one thing I will say is running pretty much anything made between 74 and 90 works just fine, A lot of the even like all the way up to some of the early second edition modules were running just fine with Barrows and Borderlands and any of the classic style games. It just might be small stuff like you just said. Like you had to quickly look in to figure out what their to hit number was, and then just put it in there and play.
Yeah, because it's like you look at their hit die number, you roll the hit dice, look at the chart, see what number matches up with it, and go away at it.
Yeah. I don't know if Fox, it sounded like you were going to add something to that, but
no. I was just
okay.
agreeing.
Some of the other systems we've got and other role-playing games. Let's see who I have next. OSR Publishing, of course.
Yeah.
Barrow Maze. This is Greg Gillespie stuff. Dwaro Deep, Forbidden Caverns of Arakia. All of this stuff could easily be used with Barrows and Borderlands. It's just easy peasy. I've met Greg twice already. I met him at DaveCon and at ArnaCon. He's a real cool dude, and he's really good at making adventure modules. I have actually ran some of his adventures using Barrows and Borderlands before, and I didn't change a single thing. So
yeah, when I first got Barrows and Borderlands, I played a little bit of Barrow Maze and some other adventures and stuff we might bring up here as well. But yeah, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, it just works.
Yeah. And then eventually you got on and started playing with everybody. But yeah,
Henry,
no problem.
Henry, one of our players, he just bought this book from him when we were at ArnaCon, so you guys might be seeing some new monsters in game.
I need to get that.
It's pretty cool. So,
I'm gonna take my money.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, we of course have Autark with ACKS, the ACKS 2 Adventurer Conqueror King. So if we go to I'll go to ACKS and we'll pull it up on here. So ACKS is, I would say, a very complete game. There is a lot of stuff there.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, exactly. ACKS is I'd say BX based in its playstyle with a bunch of AD&D in there. Honestly, if I need a rule for something real quick and I don't cover that in Barrows and Borderlands, sometimes I just default to whatever McCree says in ACKS.
Yeah.
Like when we have the what's it called? Domain play stuff. Like with your merchant character, it is so easy to just go grab the revised rule book and check out the mercantile rules in there. I mean, we're talking so much stuff. And also, anybody that's in my campaign, this goes for y'all that are just joining. If y'all own ACKS and you're like, man, I want to play with the new elf stuff that just came out in his new Kickstarter, you could just play that in our campaign. Just make an elf with that elf class and you're good to go. You don't need to do anything extra. I will probably give you some extra numbers to write down on your sheet, but otherwise you're good to go because you need a radiation resistance. But otherwise, yeah, dude, 378 spells. This dude's insane.
You have to remember as well, he also gives you tools to create spells and other stuff as well, which is something that if you do have ACKS and you play in our games and you want to create something, you obviously you want to get approved through Matt or John or one of the other referees who's allowed to change stuff in the world and all that, whatever. And you'll come up with like a cost or a chance of what level it should be, and it will work. I know Jacob has done that exact thing.
Yeah. We have people in campaign right now that are running classes and races from outside the game rules. Now, see, the referee is important in all of this. If you're a player watching this, that doesn't mean you can just show up with something at the table. Mm-hmm. You'll want to check it with the referee. With my campaign in the Game of Games server, it's a little easier because the setting is multiversal, so it can be it's sort of like a hub for the multiverse. So you can get people from all across the universe or different universes in there. But, like let's say you're running a Gods of Forbidden North campaign and somebody shows up with my Mecha Ronin class from Radioactive Boogaloo, your referee might not be happy with that. So, talk to them first.
Basically, just a Terminator just suddenly arrives in Gods of the Forbidden North and just mauls his way through the bandits and into the mountain.
Now, see, I would probably do that, but that's me. I'm a referee now. Yeah, Hunter and Fox here are both also referees on the server. So if I'm letting you do it, just because I made the game and I made the server, does not mean that Hunter's going to let you use it at his table.
Yeah.
So the referee is king. We actually have a rule implemented to where if you argue with one of the referees in game, obviously if you're out of game, go ahead and message them and tell them how stupid they are. But if you're in the middle of a game, don't argue with them or you lose 500 XP every single time.
That's a server rule as well. So
yes,
don't blame the referee. It's Matt's fault.
Yeah, I told the referees that they would lose their referee status if they didn't enforce that. So,
yeah. I haven't suffered to that rule yet, so we'll see what happens. Because I know how I can be sometimes. So even if I don't purposely mean to,
it's only a matter of time. Yeah, dude, Hunter. I will tell you, I will go to the local trophy shop and make you a crappy plastic trophy for being the only player to die in a campaign from arguing.
Yeah, because if you reach
level 0 with it,
like you'll just disappear. Yeah, it's like level drain, but XP drain.
Well, I mean, that's literally what happened to my fairy magic user. Was the Wraith life drained him to death?
Exactly. Yeah. So no, that's funny. But one of the other things too from ACKS that like the spell creation, the item creation, I love that stuff. I have rules in Barrows and Borderlands how to do that, but if a player comes to me and they said, hey, I bought ACKS and there's this cool spell creation system, I trust Macrease, so I know that when the player gets done crafting a spell, it's not going to be broken and it'll work fine. That's mainly because Macrease is really good at what he does. But the monster stuff, there's some really cool monster part mechanics in ACKS, which if a player ever came to me and said, I want to be Monster Hunter World and collect monster parts and use them, 100% that's happening. Like, you barely even have to ask me for that one. But some of the adventure modules and things that can be used in campaign that I'll bring up, we have Gods of the Forbidden North. So if you go to pulphummock.com, you can see this stuff. It's got available here. It's also on drive-thru, but as Fox always says, and as Hunter always says, I like to recommend you buy it from their website. So
yeah, especially like when you look at it as well, you're going to get the premium version, and it's honestly usually around the same price, or it might cost a tiny bit more, but the quality difference is insane. Now, I like drive-thru print and stuff, but the premium editions, all this stuff is so much better. But
yeah, and he's got Volume 3 coming out soon, right? Yeah, Volume 3. That's a cool cover. That's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Plunder the Skull God's Forbidden Kingdom, dude. I think we're playing that.
I talked to a little bit about it.
Yeah, I've actually. So
that's high level play, by the way. That's high level stuff.
Good. That'll be perfect for your first level character.
First level character.
Yeah. We will. Oh, we lost Hunter. Okay, if he comes back, I'll add him back in. But if you guys are doing any of the Gods of Forbidden North stuff, those are really fun adventures. You barely have to change anything. I don't know, Fox, you said you maybe added some like radioactive things in there so that you could use your radiation.
Yeah, if I want to like do my own little dungeons or whatever, and I want to have certain traps like radiation traps or like a zone in there, I'll just throw it in. Like, it's not a big deal. I have the option there to do it. But yeah, it's not gonna go crazy.
Well, you know, even
crazy problems.
Even with Barrows and Borderlands, like the setting of Fernum and the Borderlands, there's a lot of radiation there, but not every world you go to is going to be radioactive. So you're really using that stat mostly in my setting and other radioactive settings. Yeah. But so, you know, all that stuff is awesome. This dude does an awesome job, like for real. It is just crazy good.
It is one of the things I tell people, and you absolutely need to get it. It is a setting, it is an adventure module, it is an adventure path, and it's an open world sandbox. It's crazy.
It is really good.
He's a great guy as well, so that's a plus.
Yeah, all of these folks, by the way, that I'm bringing up are like these creators are all very, very fun. They actually want to just make cool stuff, and that's why I like giving spotlights to that. But speaking of really cool stuff, Hyperborea. Okay, Hyperborea is an obvious connection point to use Barrows of Borderlands in. It is
weird science
swords,
fantasy.
sorcery, and weird science fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you could think of a better way to mix in Hyperborea stuff. One thing I'll say, if a player character from Barrows and Borderlands wants to play a class from Hyperborea, the only thing I do for compatibility's sake is I drop their hit die type by 1. So in Hyperborea, a fighting man will have a hit die of a D10, while a fighting man in Barrows and Borderlands has a hit die of a D8. So all I do is say, go down 1 die. So you'll go down from a D10 to a D8. The mages go from a D6 to a D4. You just drop 1, and then you're good to go. Granted, we're trying a new hit point system out, so
yeah, this makes it even
doesn't matter
easier.
as much. Yeah, it makes it even easier. Hyperborea classes are awesome. The spells can be a little wild and powerful, but in my campaign, players have to find the spells anyway. They don't just get them for free unless you have the mage birth sign. So you're going to be, if you're moving stuff in from Hyperborea, it's probably one of the easiest things. Our saving throw systems are also similar, so you're going to be right in line with the way the saving throws work. But the biggest highlight of Hyperborea is its setting and its adventures. I have it in my home campaign flying just 2 planets over, or 3 planets over from us, flying around Kronos, which in its setting is flying around Saturn, so it's the same place. Easily get a spaceship for your player characters, open a portal, send them through, and they're playing in Hyperborea. It's the coolest setting. I mean, look at that. Is that Peter Mullen?
That's cool. I haven't played in Hyperborea yet, so sometime in the future we can play. Even a once-off game, that'd be cool.
Okay, so other than my game and obviously Arduin, Hyperborea is probably my favorite game. Like, if I had to not pick my own house-ruled game, it would be Hyperborea. I think, here, I'm going to pull this up. So these are, I had to get the leatherette Hyperborea books. I mean, look at all that stuff you get.
Oh, those are cool.
They are so cool. It is. Jeffrey Talanian is an awesome guy as well. And literally, I'm going to see where it starts on here. The Gazetteer for Hyperborea, the setting. So even if you don't want to use this rule system, the Gazetteer literally goes from, I'm going to pull up the exact page. Yeah, it's this much of the book, which is like 100 pages here, is all how to play in that setting. He has everything from the calendar down to details of the landscapes. It's just incredible stuff. So Hyperborea, it is in my top 5 favorite games ever made of all time. So
well, that must be good then, because
it's excellent. I mean, a Barrows and Borderlands probably wouldn't even exist had I not played Hyperborea, because it is just so good. And these adventure modules, Thousand Eyes of Thaumagora, or Gorga, Vanishing Isle of the Summer King, and Oblation Slab of the Hepatomancer. By the way, Hepatomancer is somebody that uses gut magic. I need to stream that. Boom. These 3. These are some of the newer adventures. These are awesome. Like I said, Hepatomancer is like somebody that pulls the guts out of something and scries it for information.
So cool.
Yeah, man, it's so good. And he's got other ones too. The Vanishing Isle of Summer King. That's the one I just pulled up. These are what they look like. I mean, look how big those adventure modules are.
Yeah, and to think you could probably just take your B&B characters and plug them into that adventure without really having to do much character conversion, more than likely.
You have to do nothing. you just do it. Like
Exactly.
the monsters, I mean, like I said, if you're using one of the classes, like if you want to use the rune carver, I think it's called, from Hyperborea, then just drop the hit die and you're good to go. And some people ask me, like, when you go to these other worlds and you swap systems or whatever, does it make some characters maybe a little stronger or weaker depending on what world they're on? And I go, yes, that's the point. If you've ever read John Carter of Mars, that's exactly what happens there too. So Superman, he's different under different sunlight, so just go with it. I want if anybody's watching this and they're a player of mine, I want one of these hats, black. So, or Shay, if you're watching.
It's
All
Christmas time, really.
It is Christmas time, and there you go. Okay, this one's an obvious one. Cal Aerith. Cal Aerith is so good. Castle Grief, the creator and artist, has done some art for Barrows and Borderlands 2. That cover that y'all like a lot with the Velociraptor, yeah, that one. Actually, let me spotlight you, Hunter. That cover, he did that.
Yeah.
So
It's so bloody cool.
it is awesome.
And it catches the feel of Barrows and Borderlands. You have your aliens, your dinosaurs, you have your like cleric type Solomon Kane guy with a laser pistol and a mace. Like
And the Cal Aerith guy is about to now. He's got like a save for about to start Kickstarter for his own little science fiction game, the Arathi Sector.
I will be backing that, and I will be playing it, and we will be playing it on the server.
yeah,
Because,
we're backing that as well.
dude, pretty much anything this dude touches, I buy.
I need to
bought
get
his
some
entire-
of the Cal Art stuff because I haven't had it, but I know both you guys love it. I need to get my hands on it.
It is so good. You could use a Barrows and Borderlands character and use it, like, if you didn't want to use the Cal Aerith rule system, which is fairly similar. It feels very, well, he says it right here. It's a 2d6 system that feels like Morkborg, Black Hack, OD&D, and Barbaric mixed together. So you're perfectly fine to use that. If you wanted to use your Barrows and Borderlands character in this setting, then you can just use all of his solo play charts and then just use monsters that are compatible. Like, if you find an orc, well, then just grab the orc from Barrows and Borderlands and run with it. I see this as a definite adventure. I think in my solo play, I might even just use his system as well, but I'm very partial to B&B, but that's, I play any game. So, but he's got other stuff on here too. So it's not like Cal Aerith is only $5. Occasionally you can get his white box set, but he only makes like a few of them at a time. And then he
It
will
sells
release
out in
them.
like 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
And then
Dude,
the
it's
version
crazy.
that I don't have it on hand right now, otherwise I'd show it off. But the version that I bought is off of Lulu, and it's a plastic spiral bound book that's the core rules and the first two zines that he made, all
Yes.
in one book. So
That is a good one. I really want this cassette because I've actually used some of this music from this soundtrack in our
And
B&B
that
campaign.
cassette also has a bonus class inside that little paper as well that you can use as well.
I didn't even know that. That's
Now,
awesome.
a buddy of mine, Patty's Parlor Games, I'll shout him out really quick. You can follow him on Rumble. He's a big Cal Aerith fan, and he bought one of those sets, and he did a unboxing stream, and he showed up that in the cassette is a bonus class.
Dude, that's too cool. And any of this white box stuff. So there's multiple players out there that prefer to use more of a chainmail system or an OD&D chainmail version system. In the Radioactive Boogaloo, there are rules of playing using chainmail. There's a chainmail conversion table that what your class counts as in chainmail, and you can just do that. So theoretically, you could do that same thing with this. So all the Cal Aerith stuff is excellent. He's got tons of stuff on here. And I will definitely be getting him to commission stuff in the future once he's done with his awesome Arathi Sector Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's cool.
Man, I'm going to get it. All right. Fox, you recommended this. I haven't played this. What is this?
Yeah, this is going for Holden. It is basically a 10, well, it's actually more than 10 levels, but you have 10 main levels and you have a lot of sub levels within this. A mega dungeon. It's not only a mega dungeon, it also has like an area outside where things take place, and he has multiple sort of like side add-on adventure stuff you can get, which adds more content to the surrounding area. Now, it is, people call it generic. I think it's generic in the best possible way because it makes it super manageable to plop into any game world. You know, if you want to have it in a northern or western region in any game, go ahead. You go off there, try and go into the mega dungeon. Y'all get killed or whatever. But it's made for Osric, you know, so AD&D type stuff. That's going to work plug and play pretty much with Barrows and Borderlands. You know, I actually played this. Yeah,
417 pages for $10, guys.
Yeah. And like you can get, if you click on getting a bundle, you get the print bundle for the same price as the hardback, and the print bundle is going to have the hardback, it's going to have the maps and encounter books as well, so you get them all separate.
Oh, here, I'll pull that up so we can see it.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I think it's great. I also played this with Shadowdark for a while for fun, so it's like it. Again, it goes in the point that all these things can be played together. Think of everything as system neutral.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the bundle. Wow. You get everything. Well, yeah, we'll probably be playing this then because that sounds awesome. There's so many more we could talk about. I know we could sit here all day and talk about all the fun systems we pull in. We play AD&D and BX and 2E adventures in Barrows and Borderlands. Like, we have to keep on the Borderlands, of course, which keep on the Borderlands was one of the adventures that spawned Barrows and Borderlands. So obviously you can mix in pretty much anything from pre 2E and then some 2E products. I know 2E stopped being as compatible as it went on later, but a lot of the adventures you can still run. All right, now the elephant in the room, 5th edition. So,
dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, guys. Barrows and Borderlands, theoretically, can be used with 5th edition. You just get rid of everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Starting with your 5e book, that's the first thing you get rid of.
No. Well, okay. Look, I played 5e for many years, and I loved it. And I don't have as many complaints of some people because if I complained about it, it'd be like picking on the game that spawned me playing. I know I'm a little bit younger than a lot of the players, and 5e came out when I was 15. So it was one of the first things I got, or it was the first thing I got. We started with the books that came out, and like, okay, if you wanted to come into the campaign with a 5e class or character, chances are you will wind up getting rid of a bunch of stuff because this is mainly so that you'll be compatible with the other players at the table and you're not going to just be a superhero all the time. Yeah. But if you're doing the opposite and you're running a 5e campaign, but you really like the setting of Barrows and Borderlands or some of the adventures we've just shown you, you can still kind of do it. You can just add in the stuff from Barrows and Borderlands, like the firearms and the spells, if you want to. But another way to go about it is a 5e hardcore mode. So this does a lot of the work for you. It's only $3.50. And he details how to sort of morph your 5e game into, he calls it hardcore mode, but it is that sort of older style of game. And you could do this. Your players are still playing 5th edition. This is technically 5th edition. They're not getting rid of all their classes or anything. But then you could go and grab stuff out of your Barrows and Borderlands book or some of the old school things and just give it to them. Like the firearms, for example. Well, now it works just fine, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like telling 5e players they can't play the game they like to play. You know, I'm not really about that. I have my preference for game, but I think if you wanted to still run 5e and you just can't get your players to try anything else, go get the 5e hardcore mode and tell them they're still playing 5e, but this time it's on hard mode.
Yeah.
And then work in any of the OSR stuff you want.
Like on your server, there is like a good amount of people that have only played 5e, and then they just decided to get on Barrows and Borderlands, and after they played a game or two, they're like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah,
you just get it, especially the way like yourself or John will DM or a ref. Sorry, there's too many terms out there, but like they get it. Like, it just clicks.
What were you gonna say, Hunter?
Because I was like looking up the D&D hardcore mode to save that to my wish list because I have so many things. Then another game popped up to my side that I forgot. I always forget about this one every now and then, but it's both 5e and OSR compatible, and it's the original version of this game because he's going to be doing Kickstarter for it soon. It's the Deathbringer RPG by Professor DM.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you could go get Deathbringer. You could go get Shadowdark. All three of those, 5e hardcore mode, Deathbringer, Shadowdark, they all have some of the things that players like from 5th edition. But I generally, I like to run my Barrows and Borderlands game or one of the other older classic style games. But I also went through that period of my players resisting. And, at the end of the day, you are the referee. You don't have to run a game you don't want to run. But I also understand not wanting to lose your friends and your players. Granted, if they would stop being your friend over a game, well, then they probably weren't your friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's a game. I've you know what? I've got a little rant for you guys. It's not a bad one. What is up with everybody arguing about how to play the game? That has been killing me recently because, dude, okay. I have been totally play anything kind of guy. I get the idea of WotC has taken the game in a direction that a lot of people don't like. I don't like it. But when you talk about going back and playing the older systems or playing other games, there's been a lot of discussion about which one's perfect and which one's not. I'm like, dude, you got to find the one that's perfect for your table and what you're trying to run. That's the same reason I tell people you don't need to run 1-to-1 time if you don't want to. I think it's more fun, but that's my opinion. And that's kind of the whole point, is it's an opinion, but we got to remember this is a game. It is a game, And when I see people get so enthusiastic about it's got to be this way or it's got to be that way, whether or not you're the 5e person who's arguing with your referee saying, well, I don't want to play it unless it's 5e. Well, God, it's a game. It would be like me arguing this much over whether or not we're playing poker or Monopoly tonight. So that's a little rant there. It's like, guys, it's a game. And we're just trying to find a fun way that we want to play this game with our friends who we like and we care about. And we like to run a big table. So there you go.
Yeah, like again, you talk about the big table. You have different kinds of players in there as well. You have people that come from like a story game background. Again, they get in and play, and they get what you're trying to do, and it works, and it's fun. We have a game where only 3 players show up. Then we have a game where there's 9 players in the server, and then you go to this like the Green Dragon store, and you have 30 players show up, and there's you and another ref order. It's and like we have like scheduled, as you see there, 6 events so far, and there will be more added to that, and that's all in the next week, I think.
Half of these are different systems, but you know what? You've got your main character that's in the Borderlands. If he uses the isekai travel method and goes plays shifty louts for a session, you still get XP at the end of the session for your main character. Remind your referees that they need to fill out the logs or else you don't get that. But just putting that out there. And if you guys are interested, we will be running Dracula in Space on November 8th, guys. We've got 6 people signed up. Come play. 5 people. You can't include myself. So Wow, I'm
Flying
missing where
bats.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
see Hunter on here.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oh.
I will be able to join that now because I was supposed to be running a game on the 8th and it got rescheduled. So now I am available to play that game. So
Perfect. I hope you're ready to lose 6 more characters.
yeah,
Dude.
that's why it's like, do I want to make some more characters to take up there, or should I pray that Gong somehow survives? And when he stumbles on the rocket ship, being like, "Hey, what's this?"
All I'm saying is I'm making characters just for this. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
man.
think it might be the better idea. Is just we're making this a DCC funnel-esque game at this point.
It's a level
Well-
6 funnel. Bring 4 or 5 characters.
I will say
That's a-
too, we also have, for those that are brand new and you don't have Barrows and Borderlands, I like y'all to be able to decide what you guys actually want. I don't think you can really make a decision on what you want to buy unless you get a chance to see it. So
Mhm.
this is the beginner character sheet. It has all the rules for making a basic character, a human, fighting man, magic user, cleric. There are a lot more race and class options in the actual game. But
Tons.
yeah, tons. But this will get you going in the world. And you can go ahead and start with this. And if you like it and you want to keep leveling and playing, you just let me know. And obviously the Kickstarter's ended, but you guys can still pick up. I think we have a couple late options on right here. We've got a couple late options that'll only be going for like a week or so because we got a bunch of emails on the back end of people that just missed it by like a couple hours and they wanted to get a couple. We're like, fine, we've printed just this many, but once that's out, and you can still do Arduin after that if you get the hardback, but that is your last chance to get the box set. So for this price, it's the last chance, and we won't be printing anymore once we've printed all of these. So go ahead and look at all that stuff. You guys see
Yeah,
me talk about it a
it's
bunch.
awesome.
Mhm.
I could sit here and market the Kickstarter just ended again, but I'm not going to. It's a bunch of shit, and y'all can go have a bunch of fun with it and enjoy your game. But that's my opinion. You do get all of the stretch goal content that's in there, so go do it.
I remember
It's fun.
I know a lot of guys in the circles that I run because I somehow am like in like a weird mix of circles. I run with like old grognards, I run with Broasar guys, and I got modern players in the mix kind of as well. And I was constantly talking about this Kickstarter on whenever I was live streaming, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this actually looks like something I'd be interested in. Let me go back that." So
Well, that was awesome.
I
Yeah, we had
kind of
we had a crazy amount. Yeah, you see, we only have like 50 of these left, so you only there
only
you go.
50.
Yeah. We weren't gonna do, because we didn't set up for late pledges or whatever, but yeah, I mean, we got so many emails on the back end. We're like, you know what? We've got a few of these left, and we were gonna any of the leftover stock, we were just gonna take to like conventions, or maybe I would give a couple to the Green Dragon to sell because it's my local game store. We only had a few, so this is kind of your only option unless you want to pay the that bigger price there, which is a lot. But
And technically, that bigger price is still lower than what the actual value is.
you're still getting like 30% off, even with that bigger
Yeah,
price.
exactly.
I think the actual final price is like it would be if we did everything at retail. It'd be like $450,
Yeah.
which nobody would ever pay that, so we're not going to do that. But
Yeah.
we still have a little bit of a discount. This right now, you're talking like 65% off. So, anyway, moving on. I think that about covers our compatibility talk. I was wondering if y'all had any other notes about making the game compatible before we got off.
I had a funny question just because this popped up when I was looking at stuff while you were talking. Okay, have you thought about making it compatible for Daggerheart?
Oh boy, that's an interesting one. That would certainly be harder than anything else on the list as of now. I think you theoretically could do it. You would kind of have to pick. So you could easily run the Barrows and Borderlands setting with Daggerheart. If you were playing Daggerheart, you could run the setting. You might have to add something for radioactive stuff. But I think with Daggerheart, you might have to pick your system because they're so different. You might have to be like, okay, do I want to run the Daggerheart setting, but with Barrows and Borderlands? Therefore, you're gonna have to like make some classes and races, or do I want to do Daggerheart the game, but I want to play in Fairnum with the radioactive stuff?
Because they have a free, as their system reference document is absolutely free, and they also have a free homebrew kit for, I guess, making your own stuff for your own game, for your own table game. So, I mean, it is a possible thing if you do have players that would be interested in doing that. Because, I mean, I'm one of those guys where I'll try anything once, even if it's Daggerheart. But when my first impression of Daggerheart is like it's just a story. It's like if you put 4E mechanics with Power by the Apocalypse games.
So here's what I'll tell you. I generally don't critique a game unless I've played it. I played Daggerheart for like 2 months to test it out. I didn't like it. And now that's just my table. It was clunky for me to run as the referee for my style of game. Some people might like it. I know when I was trying it out, and it just wasn't for me. I got tired of tracking tokens and like the fear counters and all that. But I'm also like that. I'll try anything once, and I tried it. I didn't get the final version of it, but we got, the downloadable playtest document is what I tried. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about Daggerheart.
Just a funny question I had. Figure it wouldn't hurt to ask. So
no, it's a good one because it is that there are some systems out there like with Daggerheart, and I'm trying to think of some of the other games. Like, it'd be a little harder to make a compatible system. That might be one where if I had a referee in the server that wanted to run that as a setting, that might be one of the isekai situations where you go with the mind of your character, but you're playing the other system, and that could work just fine. So, and remember that too. If you guys want to ref a game on the server and you got your own rules or your own favorite way to play and your setting, but you want people to play with you, come join the Barrows and Borderlands server and run your game. You don't have to do anything special to just run a game in a different setting, especially if it's isekai. It's just kind of like hopping on there, and I'm not going to gatekeep you from joining voice chat and running something. You might need some help from the referees to make a scheduled event. And then on top of the just running a game, there is like the official referees, like Hunter, Fox, John, Jacob. There's a few of them on there. They actually have the availability to run the campaign in the actual like setting. Like they can ask me like, hey, Hunter might come to me and say, hey, I've got is there anything on the lore for this hex over here? Can I make like a castle or something and run people in it? They've got the referee tag. They can do stuff like that. But even if you're not like an official referee, you can come run your setting, and you've got player base for it. We've got over 180 people on the server, so you've got tons of people to come play the game with you. There are tons of referees. If you're looking for a group, we're not charging you to come play games with us. That also means, be really respectful on the server. Be nice to the referees. They are doing that for free. I'm doing that. I mean, granted, I made a game and I'm selling the game, but I'm not charging anybody to come play games with me. So, be nice to them.
There's people who make a living doing just that.
Yeah. So keep that in mind when you guys hop on there. Be respectful. Don't be an asshole. Our server rules are very lax. We're not like getting on to people about politics or religion. We are a Christian company, but we're not going to bully you if you're not Christian. You can come play games with us. But yeah, without anything else, I think we've covered most of it today. Fox, is there anything you wanted to add? I know Hunter just brought up Daggerheart, but is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think we covered most things, but again, this all feeds into the game of games, which is something I know you've talked about a lot, and you've talked about a lot, and you've got me into that more and more. But yeah, the game of games, play anything, do anything, grab everything, throw it all together, throw in a blender, have a good time. That's really what it is.
All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Game on and perish.
See ya.